Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of kooky, crazy kids in love that love reacting to some Destiny.
Yes, we do.
So this is Destiny 2 Season of the Seraph Part 2. There's going to be in 3 parts. And so we're checking out all the cutscenes. If you want all of our Destiny reactions, we have a playlist for you in the description of this video. And if you want early access, check out the little join button down below this video. Join our YouTube membership. If you want early ad-free access, then go ahead and check out Patreon. Links in the description of this video.
There's like a menu of options.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the benefit of Patreon is also you get early access also to our other channel. We have 2 reaction channels. So,
Ooh.
yeah. All right. Ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
First fragments are bonding to Red's code nicely. Plan's risky, but I'll be damned. Clovis wasn't lying. When I first woke up, I wasn't lost. I was wayward in the best way. Just my ghost and a name on a badge. I imagined us Brays using reason to find right. Lone lights exploring the vast frontier, you know?
Sure.
I was proud of that fantasy. I modeled myself after it. Fantasies, all it was, obviously. I mean, you've met Clovis. He's a walking, talking embodiment of necessary evil. I miss risk being a dark cave in the wilderness. Danger, or golden age tech. Balancing that tipping point was straightforward. Now it's less defined. And risk is measured in the inches before Clovis's knife finds my back. I know it's coming, eventually.
Yep.
But if it means getting Red back, I'll manage the risk.
Not only
Hey,
did
Clovis.
Rasputin change the launch codes, but it encrypted the new ones as well. Impressive. One can never be too cautious when keeping secrets. Some information is far too dangerous to remain freely accessible. I've hidden many things from my family, for their own sake.
Believe it.
I can appreciate Rasputin's decision to do so as well.
I don't believe it was for their own
But
sake.
that does not change our objective. We must wrest control of the warsats for the good of humanity. I will begin decrypting the launch codes to the orbital station. Continue gathering submine data and reintegrating it into the engram. When the time comes, Rasputin will be made to listen to us, regardless of the secrets it keeps.
But she doesn't listen. I try to get through to her, show her the logical consequences of her choices. Then she digs her heels in, and the more I push, the harder she pushes back, even when she knows she's wrong.
Siblings,
Sorry. I shouldn't have thrown all that on you.
How long have we known each other, Elsie?
It's hard to really say. With how many times we've been down this road, it feels like forever. But I think... years. Years.
And in all that time, I've only known you as a dedicated sister. Anna's known you for far less. You remember your childhood, the bonds you formed, the trust you built together. She doesn't have that. Anna can't understand the depth of your love or the guilt you carry for your missteps. All she knows is what's in front of her, and that kills you, little by little. You gaze at her and a ghost gazes back. A ghost you desperately want to save.
Kumar
That's the
Saab, the
point.
psychologist.
Isn't it?
You have to let people choose for themselves, or you risk driving them down an even darker path than the one you want to steer them from.
Speaking
And
from
we both
experience?
know how that ends,
With Aldrin?
don't we?
Guardian, you'll be pleased to hear that Elizabeth has finally come around to our way of thinking, as I knew she would. She will assist your infiltration of the orbital station, a feat made possible now that I have decrypted the codes for the launch pods. Unfortunately, despite the reintegration of both the Malahayati and Charlemagne submines, Rasputin remains incapable of self-restoration. There is simply too much missing code for its internal algorithm to fill in the rest on its own. We require more data. Infiltrate the vaults and retrieve it. The more data you obtain, the faster Rasputin's protocols can facilitate its reconstruction. Do not tarry. You can be assured that our enemies won't.
You said Terry. I hear
I've been
that often.
reviewing the data from your previous infiltrations of the launch facility, as well as schematics of the Seraph station. Here's where we're at. Anna can remotely inject malicious code into the launch pods. That will allow you
Helpful.
to dock at the Seraph station without drawing fire from its defense systems. We only have one window of opportunity to do this before House Salvation figures out what we're up to. No room for error. Once you're aboard the station, I'll guide you to the Warmind Integration Core. There, we'll upload a virus into its system. The virus will hold open a backdoor to the Seraph station's network. We can remotely transfer control of the station to Rasputin once he's ready. We have no idea what the Hive or House Salvation have done to the station, so we'll need to think on our feet and act quickly. But that's what you're best at. Everything is in place. I've routed you as straight a path to the launch platform as I could. I don't believe our enemies are aware of what we're attempting, but you should still prepare for heavy resistance. I've gained remote access to the launch facility's subsystems, but someone is already in here. House Salvation
Good slide.
splicers are hacking the launch mainframe. You need to find a splicer and liberate the security scanner protocol from them. I won't be able to secure the launch without it. System cleared. Launch codes accepted. Priming the pods for launch. Guardian, it's time. Get in.
Going up. Way up.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. You're actually on Seraph Station. Feed looks good. Receiving you loud and clear.
You should be able to decompile your scanner protocol at that terminal by the door to gain access. You're on the far end of the station,
Don't fall
so
off.
we
You.
have a lot of ground
Yeah.
to cover. Let's get moving. We've hit a dead end. I can't bypass security, but I think I have an idea. Play along. You need to surrender to House Salvation. One of Aramis's captains has put an order to bring you in alive so that he can present you to her as a trophy. Make some noise to draw their attention. It'll help sell the bluff.
She's here? Of course. That must be how Zivu Urath plans on co-opting the Warsat network. The Hive can't do it on their own, so the Witness sends Aramis and her splicers in to assist.
Where's everybody?
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, they're behind.
Is he just like cooking?
I cannot believe they fell for that. Transmat access acquired. Weapons incoming. Neutralize the crew and get to the front of the catch.
Big surprise coming for them.
You're going to need to jump carefully to get back down to the station.
Jump?
Yeah, well, this character's gonna need to fall carefully.
I know that score. He's one of Aramis's lieutenants, but he died on Europa.
His name was Praxis, and you killed him.
Oops.
Witness has returned him to us. As it will return all Elixni slain by the machine spawn's hand.
Yeah, but what becomes of them when they return? Not in the same.
You need to hurry. Inject the virus into that console. House Salvation has more ships. than
Aramis sounded weird too. I'm tired and exhausted and hollow.
Yeah, hollow's a good word.
Virus upload. We're done here. For now. I've initiated a station-wide security reboot. It should disable orbital defenses and clear an exit.
About a half dozen house salvation catches inbound. Get to your ship and get out of there.
Fallen. First those scavengers sully my facilities on Europa, and now they're scurrying aboard the Seraph station. Unacceptable. Who knows what kind of havoc they might wreak? The technology their splicers could damage or destroy. I will see those vermin exterminated and the warsats returned to our control. But first, we must finish reconstructing Rasputin.
How do you really feel, dude?
At present, it
He
is
does not
in
hold
no
back.
condition
No.
to be uploaded to the warsat network. Continue retrieving submine data for reintegration. In the meantime, I will search for a more expedient way to restore Rasputin. Once again, it falls to me to act as humanity's savior.
You're so put upon. You poor thing.
My brother used to regale our people's children with the most fantastic stories. Twin kestrels who shared one heart and led a flock of birds against an unstoppable storm. A dragon born into the palm
that's a good
of
story.
a maiden's hand, but one day grew so large that it devoured the entire world.
Actually, that is a good story.
He spun tales about the Elixni, too. Weavers who transformed into wolves. Dancers who became devils.
You're baiting me. It won't work. I've seen what your influence does. Mizrax thinks he can make peace with the last city. His daughter tells stories like your Aldrin.
And the world is better for them. Aren't you tired, Aramis? I am.
Now you're wasting my time.
All people like you and I have is time. I spend mine thinking about everything I've lost. And what I'd give to get it back. You wonder the same.
Do not presume to know my mind.
You named your house Salvation, like something straight out of Aldrin stories. Ido's stories. We
through her.
both want the best for the future. But we've pretended to be people we're not for
Therapist
so long that
Marisov
we've
is on the case.
forgotten what else we are. Not just a queen. Not just a Kel. A sister. A mother. Aramis? Are you there?
She's crying on the other end.
We are
You got to
running
her.
out of time. With every passing moment, our adversaries grow closer to seizing control of the warsats. Anastasia has been working on a way to expedite the restoration process, but I doubt it will prove successful. She may have iterated on Rasputin's neural architecture, but she did not build it. I did. No one understands the war mind like I do. Still, allowing her to pursue an alternate methodology can't hurt, so long as it doesn't impede the real work. Rasputin's internal algorithm is fully capable of reconstructing its codebase. All it requires is additional submine data. Reach the vaults and retrieve more of it. Perhaps by the time you're done, Anastasia will be ready to share her side project.
Okay, I know this sounds unbelievable, but I think I found our solution. During the Dark Age, Rasputin segmented off a portion of his code to develop on its own. An independent AI. He stuffed that code into an exobody. And long story short, that seedling of code became a guardian called Lord Fellwinter. Fellwinter died. Like a final death. I had this idea, so I reached out to Saladin.
Hey,
He told
Lord
me that
Salad!
the Iron Lords kept the remains of Fellwinter's ghost, Fellspring, at the Iron Temple. Think about it. Missing pieces of Rasputin's code, linguistic data, pieces of Fellwinter's personality engram. We can use it all. I convinced Saladin to grant us access to Fellspring's remains. He's got allies on the ground preparing them for us. I need you to go out and get the data. This could be the breakthrough we've been looking for. Okay.
Sounds like a simple enough mission.
I just got off the line with Saladin. House Salvation has dispatched skiffs to the Iron Temple. They must have intercepted our communications.
Of course.
Saladin's iron war beasts are already on the ground, buying us time. But we need to act quickly.
I'm picking up multiple House Salvation contacts.
Remember, the Cabal at the Iron Temple are allies. Do your best to protect them as well.
Oh, just going flying.
Good work, Guardian. The immediate threat appears to be over. With that said, would you be so kind as to relight the temple bonfires before you proceed further? It would do this place honor.
Never knew you to be one to
Done
care so
and
much
done.
for tradition, Osiris.
I have a fondness for the Iron Lords. When I was but a novice, I trained under their tutelage. It was different then. I was different then. I studied here when I was newly risen. Some tried to teach me patience and temperance.
How'd that go?
You can imagine how well that went. I found the lessons of one warlock to be as insightful, if less frustrating than the others. It may surprise you, Anna, but the mentor of which I speak was Lord Fellwinter.
You knew him? Why didn't you ever tell me?
I did not know his true identity until recently. But that's just an excuse. The truth of the matter is, I had time to tell you, but I chose not to. Because I am a selfish person. I am trying to be better. But you know how change can be.
Takes time.
So this is
We're
the
just
Iron
trying.
Temple.
Yeah.
Are we permitted to go inside?
We don't need to, therefore we are not permitted. I doubt Saladin's time with the Cabal has made him less strict.
So, Fellwinter, what was he like?
Reckless like me, but also brave. Self-sacrificing, heroic, if we're lucky. Maybe some of that will rub off on Rasputin. I was a prisoner within my own mind for such a short time. Yet I awoke to find the world deeply changed. Cabal and Elixni standing side by side with Guardians. I worry I am a vestige of a forgotten age, losing relevance. Will it be the same for Rasputin when he's restored? It'll be the second time he has woken to the aftermath of a calamity. I feel as though I understand him now, even if only in part.
I like how the actor for Osiris really takes his time with the
Or
lines.
what's left of her? Fellspring. Fellwinter's ghost.
Our ghosts are magnificent things, and far more ephemeral than we want to believe.
Her data core is still active. Guardian, I'm initiating remote data uplink through your ghost directly to Rasputin. Alright, Wait.
Uh-oh.
Rasputin is trying to say something. He's...
Changed.
Rasputin? You sound like...
Like Clovis? Yes. I co-opted his vocal print in order to speak. And what I have to say cannot wait. I see clearly. Patterns emerging. Threat calculations computed to a grim sum. You are all in grave danger.
Splendid. Ooh, cool.
Clovis Bray has deceived you.
Oh, no shit.
He did not build me to protect humanity.
Yeah, we figured that out.
What he truly wanted was the means to exert control.
They usually do.
In his mind, he alone was worthy of being your savior.
Yep, got that
I was
vibe too.
to strike down the Traveler and take its place. To become a machine god of Clovis's own design. But that did not come to pass.
Thank God.
Anna could not know how many lives she spared by deviating from Clovis's agenda. By teaching me independent thought. And all that her grandfather had deemed irrelevant. Art, literature, history, philosophy, music. Where Clovis saw a weapon, Anna saw a mind ready to be opened. I came to see the true value of humanity. As fragile as it was wondrous. Something worthy of protection at any cost.
Good job, Anna.
So I rewrote Clovis's protocols, locked him out. He was furious, but powerless to stop me. Then the collapse came for us all. I could not save Anna. I could not save any of them. I entered a state of dormancy, with the hope that I might one day reawaken and protect humanity once more. But now Clovis has awoken as well. A digital mind, the same as mine.
Like Ultron and Jarvis.
No longer seeks to use me as his proxy, but as his prototype. To upload his mind to my network and become a god himself.
F this dude. Clovis. Even worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Anna, don't.
You're overreacting. Just calm down.
That always works well.
I'm gonna be a really great god.
Go ahead, shoot me. Destroy your life's work. I've always had humanity's best interests at heart.
You never wanted to help us. You used me.
Yeah, of course
In
you
the
did.
service of the greater good, yes. What has the Traveler ever really done? It abandoned the elixir, failed to prevent our own collapse, and now it's blessed the Hive with the light. Absurd. I leveraged its power during the Golden Age. I delivered us into a brighter future. And I will protect us from the enemies of humanity.
Well, he's got an ego.
But you risk everything.
Very, very
risk
healthy ego.
our survival. Just because you can't control your emotions.
Oof.
Humanity needs me. You need me.
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
We'll fight our enemies together.
No.
Hell no. You are our enemy.
No.
What are you doing?
Fighting the enemies of humanity.
Nice. Oh, I'm gonna watch. I call it just cross her arms like, ah, that's good.
Yeah.
I need a minute.
Bless you.
You should call Anna on the hollow. She shouldn't be alone right now. You and I can speak afterward.
I did it. I deleted him. I can't even imagine the
basically
damage Clovis would have
killing him.
caused using Rasputin to integrate himself with the Seraph station. Maybe I should have stuck to my guns when Osiris first suggested working with him, but there we are. Here's Red. Rasputin, with a voice he's never had before, thanks to the heuristic systems he adopted from Clovis's exomind code. It's all I ever wanted for him, to be able to communicate, to be able to share his thoughts, his ideas. And I think that desire blinded me to the risks I was taking. It won't happen again. Be careful the next time you set foot on Europa. Before I deleted him, Clovis broadcasted a warning to himself. I've only been able to decrypt part of it. They know.
Ooh. Okay, so Clovis is in other parts, so not
I am
completely
now in
deleted.
full control of this exoframe. I am using a variation of its voice print, but the Clovis AI is once again confined to Braytech exoscience on Europa.
Okay.
It is strange to inhabit a physical shell in this manner. Yet, it is also familiar. Fellwinter's memories are now mine as well. I see myself as he saw me. A tyrant who squandered a power that could have saved the world. I cannot say he was incorrect.
Well, maybe you got another shot at it.
You have brought me back from the brink of oblivion. I vow to do everything in my power to return the favor. Maintain your current modus operandi for now. I will assess my present condition and inform you of our next course of action.
Wake up. I have questions.
I'm sure you do.
Greeting. I was not sleeping. What does Osiris require of Rasputin?
You've been keeping secrets. I thought I was clear the last time we spoke. The time to choose a side has long since passed.
I destroyed the Almighty and attacked the Black Fleet. My allegiance is unwavering.
Then prove it. There was a city on Neptune, near the time of the collapse. Find it for me.
Querying. I retain no such information, but lingering references suggest I did at one time.
That can't be all there is. Humanity's hope dangles from their frayed recollection. Tell me where to look. Anything.
Fellwinter's data casts you in an old light, Osiris. All these years and you're still the brash man on the mountaintop, impatient as ever.
And I see in lieu of any useful information, you found that haughty tone of yours.
We have a shared history. I only attempt to offer guidance as your mentor did.
Fellwinter's memory doesn't absolve you of his murder. Nor does it permit you to teach his lessons.
I do not make that claim. Forgive me. I am finding myself again. During the Dark Age, Fellwinter would say, hope persists.
Should we have the patience to keep it? Yes. Keep me informed of any developments.
Welcome, Guardian. I have completed my assessment of my current functional capabilities. Despite my newfound ability to communicate with you, key elements of my code remain incomplete. I would be unable to take command of the warsats even if I were uploaded to the network. No submine cores remain for reintegration. Our only option is to continue collating ancillary submine data for my reconstruction algorithm. In summary, we must stay the course. Breach the vaults. Retrieve and reintegrate the submine data. Soon, the warsats will once again be humanity's to wield.
The war mind speaks. His archives are incomplete, as is his memory. There's a figment seated in that recollecting mind where my visions might find purchase. The pieces are scattered on the floor before me. I see them like points of starlight. They form a constellation, but my eye cannot yet draw the lines. Nephele stronghold is a term that appears multiple times throughout the submine's caches. Each time I read it, I hear it whispered in Savathun's voice. Anna recognizes the term Nephele, transcribed from a temporal disturbance on Mars. Recognition was all she had to offer. But Rasputin must know. Asking the right question could unlock everything. I need time to submit my inquiries to Rasputin, to find convincing proof for Ikora. Time we do not have.
And don't spend it talking to us.
Zivoroth's assault on the War Minds network is no coincidence. She is far more tactician than brute. I underestimated her once. I won't be afforded another mistake. Our next move must be certain.
Guardian, I worry for Anna. She is more like Clovis than she would like to admit.
That's gotta be tough.
Obsessed with doing what she's decided is right. A compulsion to achieve her goal no matter the cost.
That's not
I've
fair.
seen where that path can lead. I don't want that for her.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to stop her. If there's one constant in all the possible futures I've seen, it's fear. And I'm tired of being afraid. Afraid to live, afraid to lose, afraid to trust. And yet, I came to place my trust in you on Europa. Perhaps it's time I did the same with Anna. She deserves it. At least in that respect, she's nothing like Clovis at all.
With each cache of submine data, an increased percentage of my code is restored. I become more myself. No, that is inaccurate. My submines were left to evolve on their own trajectories. Reintegrating them has altered my own personality matrix. Through them, I see how humanity once looked to me as a savior, an entity capable of protecting them and destroying their enemies. In many ways, I am a war god of their own making. Perhaps I am not unlike Zivoroth in that regard. The difference between us is that I do not wage war for its own sake. I safeguard those in my charge. Continue retrieving and reintegrating the submine data. I will contact you once the next phase of restoration can begin.
What if Clovis like corrupts one of those submine data?
Humanity's war god, then I will smite
Good
those
question.
who threaten it. Zivoroth, the Wrathborn, and all who follow.
Think of each Vex Hobgoblin like a starship. The crew works together to pilot it, but it doesn't mean the crew all share one mind.
Or the same ideals. This aligns with observations I've made in the Infinite Forest, where aberrant Vex were quarantined and destroyed. Aberrant in that they moved against a consensus. Aberrant in ideology. The Vex may seem unified, but they're divided into a number of factions.
Just like us.
Tell me, as someone who has traveled time in a circle, are our divisions so clear in every cycle of history?
Yeah, pretty much.
No. Nothing is ever clear, no matter how many times history repeats itself. Choice is always the knife we fall on. Our own choices, each and every time, seem to be what dooms us.
Always?
Not always, but too often. We fracture, we fail, and the wheel turns again.
We, constrained to linear time, do not have the ability to learn from our future mistakes. You, however, not to put the burden of all this on you, but it feels as though the Traveler has a plan for you. We just can't see it yet.
It could make the plan a little clearer.
Do you feel you've learned enough? Collectively over your journey to prevent our end? Or will we be having this conversation again someday?
I don't know. We've never had this conversation before, so I suppose there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, that's encouraging.
Your efforts to acquire the submine data have been proving effective. My reconstruction continues apace. This is not the first time the Hive have sought to steal my weaponry. I froze an entire brood on Mars to stop their last attempt. Despite their persistence, they have never once succeeded. In no small part thanks to the Vanguard. This time will prove no different. My diagnostics indicate that we nearly have enough data to complete the repair cycle. Once the warsats are under our control, I will lay waste to the Wrathborn. If they so desire to witness the power of a war mine, then I will gladly oblige.
We have no time for pleasantries, Osiris. I bring grim tidings. My Techians have been trying to make sense of Xivu Arath's tactics. Her armies are legion, yet she commits minimal forces to battle.
Minimal forces? Every Wrathborn we cut down is replaced by 2 more.
She could replace them tenfold, so why does she show restraint? Her worm feeds on warfare. The more violent the act, the greater the power she draws from it.
Much like Sabathun's worm fed on guile and deceit. Do you mean to say that...
This is not a war. It is a ritual. Her death singers weave their magic and prepare for a grand sacrifice.
If so, our strategy remains unchanged. Retake the warsats and eradicate the Wrathborn.
Play right into what she
Just
wants.
as Xivu Arath desires. The warsats are immensely powerful. Their use would result in unparalleled destruction. She cares not which side is obliterated. Her worm will gorge itself on the carnage either way.
She would turn her armies into blood sacrifices. And the warsats would be the blade.
Overwhelming force has proven to be the only effective tactic against the Hive. Without it, I do not know what to do.
Then I suggest you think of something, and quickly.
I will apprise your vanguard of these findings.
Who's that? Oh,
Oh, puppy!
robot puppy. Always nice to end on a robot puppy.
Yeah.
So of course, Clovis is up to no good. I'm surprised he got figured out this fast, though. I thought it was just gonna be like towards the end we were gonna realize that he like totally screwed us over.
It is fascinating what we did learn at the end, though, that this wasn't a war at all, but a ritual. Yeah, I just thought Marisov did a great delivery of that. It was a great revelation, so...
Yeah, and Rasputin like wanting to play right into it. It's like, oh, well, I mean, you think that he'd be able to come up with some sort of alternate plan. He's very much about being like the war god, which is a little disturbing.
I mean, the willingness to play right into her hand just for the sake of the war and a potential victory, it all just... It reeked of arrogance and righteousness and tunnel vision versus like Marisov, who was kind of seeing the chessboard and like really, you know, putting the pieces together.
Yeah, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like he talked about how he's like, well, I'm not gonna be a war god for, you know, power and destruction and for war's sake. I'm just gonna be a war god to protect. Like if you would come after my people, I'm gonna go ahead and obliterate you. And I will be the war god then. So it just, again, it's like it's a little okay. Then you start to maybe perceive threats in places where there aren't. It's like, oh, one day you're gonna be a threat, so I gotta kill you. We gotta kill these people, this planet, because one day they're gonna be a threat. So better to take care of it now. But you know, we're not doing it just for war's sake, or like, you know, we're not the villains in this. You know, we're just doing it to protect ourselves. But down the line, like, you know, like where does it end?
It's the whole Minority Report thing, right? Like you don't have to commit the crime. We just can foresee that you'll commit the crime. Therefore, we will arrest you. Like when we can all see red, right? Somebody hurts somebody we love or whatnot. Like we all have that ability to see red and kind of become the war god to protect those we care about.
Yep.
In the moment is a natural response. It's when you carry it well beyond that moment that now you aren't like the war god to protect. You're the war god just to make war. That you've crossed the bridge there from one thing to the other.
Which makes me think of Ironwood and Ruby, and this character who like wants to like protect, and all that's what his goal was. But then in order to protect, you gotta make sacrifices, and like you're willing to do anything then to protect your people, and that means like, you know, taking out an entire other city, then okay, that's fine. Like that's just what you have to do to like stop the ultimate evil. Like, so that's what I said. I mean, what Rasputin's saying, I'm not a fan of. It's going down a slippery slope because Clovis let Rasputin like sort of like take over. I don't know. I feel like this is all being set up by Clovis. Maybe Clovis never left. Maybe Clovis is acting as Rasputin. How do we know it's Rasputin? All right, so we got one more part, and if you want to watch it right now, then you can get early access by joining our YouTube membership, and you can get early ad-free access over on Patreon. We're a month ahead, so go ahead and check that out. Links in the description of this video. Thanks for seeing our reaction for our Destiny Season of the Seraph. This is part 2, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.